Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Rick. Got videos today from men only. Men have flipped the script as women spiral. Please like subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Good at Chow. It's Chow Time.
I just don't know how to take what I'm feeling right now well.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's shaking up the dating world. Men flip the script as women spiral. We'll explore how men are changing the game, why it's causing such a strong reaction, and what it means for modern relationships. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Let's jump right in and break it all down.
Do we think 40 is too old to date a girl in their late 20s? Like, I'm 27, but my friend disagrees and she says I need someone younger to keep up with my lifestyle. But all the guys my age don't want to settle down, so here I am. What do you think? I think it's fine.
You ladies really need to stop saying, all men are like this or all guys do that. The truth is, it's not all men. It's just the ones you're choosing. And let's be real, if you keep ending up with the wrong kind of guys, maybe it's time to take a closer look at the choices you're making.
They're not,
when you keep
brothers,
picking
they're
the
not.
same type of guy and getting the same disappointing results, it's not fair to paint all men with the same brush. Not every guy is out there playing games or messing around. There are plenty of decent men who are serious about relationships. But if you keep going for the flashy, charming ones who don't have their priorities straight, then you're going to keep finding yourself in the same situation over and over again. It's like shopping for fruit. If you keep picking the ones that look good on the outside but are rotten on the inside, you're going to end up with a bad taste in your mouth every time. Maybe it's time to reconsider what you're looking for in a partner. Instead of going for the same old type that's left you disappointed, try opening your mind to someone who doesn't fit your usual mold but might actually treat you right.
See, but that's the problem when we tell women this. Those are the men they're not attracted to. And because they're not attracted to them, they're going to treat them like shit in the first place. Or they're just not even going to want to deal with them. That's the problem. Or they're going to leave them later because they're going to genuinely want a guy that they desire. So it's hard to tell women this from doing this content and talking to women and just talking to men too. It's kind of a bad way to go to tell women to kind of settle that way. But it's also how it was done before. It's just that women nowadays care so much about looks and all these other things. It's impossible for them to get the correct mate now.
And let's not forget, this isn't just about you. It's about the men who are genuinely good, who are overlooked and ignored because they don't fit into the mold of what you think you want. These men are out there, but they're not going to waste their time chasing someone who is only interested in drama or excitement over stability and real connection. So, before you say all men are this or all men are that, take a moment to think about the common denominator in your experiences. Maybe it's not about all men, but about the choices you're making. The right guy might not be the one you're used to, but he could be the one who's worth it.
So tell me again why he hasn't married you yet.
All right, ladies, I'm going to answer this question for you, and trust me when I say this, you aren't going to like what I'm about to say. And it leaves you with two choices. You can either scroll past this video where an actual man is going to tell you why men don't want to get married and deal with the reality of what he's saying and make some changes, or you can do what most women will do, which is to scroll on past it claiming nothing a man says is true, and then go about making up fantasies in your mind about why it is the men aren't wifing you up. You know, those fantasies where you and other women put the blame entirely on the men, of course, absolving yourselves of any responsibility or having to acknowledge and deal with the reality that the problem isn't men, it's you. So I'll pause for a few seconds to let you all decide which option you're going to take. All right, for those of you that are still here, congratulations. There might actually be hope for you yet. So here's the 3 primary reasons why men won't put a ring on it. First, men know that marriage these days is essentially a one-way contract. A contract where one party 80% of the time the woman, can choose to withdraw from at any time and for any reason she so desires. She can simply say she's bored or that she can do better and force the man out without any penalty or recourse. Something today's modern women are taking full advantage of. A contract, by the way, that would never be upheld in any court because it's so unfair, except for the one court where it matters. Family court. Along similar lines, men have realized that women's promise of lifelong commitment, well, it's worth about as much as a $3 bill. Men have realized that women want to get married for the party, to show off, to have that big wedding they can flaunt over their friends or post out on social media for clicks and likes. Men have realized that for today's modern women, marriage isn't about love, respect, or honoring each other. It's merely a business transaction, one that solely benefits her. And women know this too, which is why once she's had that big wedding and gets the aforementioned signed contract, she changes and goes from being an enthusiastic, attentive partner to a dictator with ever-increasing demands for more and more and more, while at the same time offering nothing, literally nothing, in return. You see, ladies, today's men know that no matter how hard they try or how much they do, it will never be appreciated and it will never be enough. And finally, men have realized that the cards are stacked against them, both in society and in the courts. They know that if a breakup occurs, everyone will rush to support her while at the same time villainizing him, even when she's the one directly to blame for the breakup. Men have seen what happens to their friends, their family, their co-workers, and men in general, where when they go through a divorce or breakup, they lose everything. Everything they've worked for, their house, their car, a good portion of their income, and of course, their children. All because she suddenly decided the marriage wasn't perfect or she's got to put too much effort in. So knowing all that, ask yourselves this, ladies. Would you want to get married? Because that's what men have asked themselves. They're asking themselves, what's the point? Why in God's name would I or any man ever want to get married? So ladies, if you're asking yourself why men are done with marriage, done with relationships, done with you, there's your answers. Like it or not, the biggest reason why men won't marry today is that there isn't a single benefit, not one, to getting married for today's men. And
I can 100% agree with this. If you can have a stable relationship long term without the marriage contract, you're golden. I think that was, but to me, I've always pushed towards marriage because it's the most stable in a sense. But hey, if you can get the partner to be with you for the rest of your life without that contract, that's wonderful too. All I care about is you guys having families and having great children and having great children that are great members of society. That's what I truly care for you guys. And it's not the marriage itself that I truly care about, but it's the best possible outcome for you and your children, which would be a mother and a father in a stable home. That's all I can say. Marriage, I don't give a fuck about, but mother, father, stable home, perfect.
Ladies, if you disagree with anything I said, I defy you to name one, just one benefit marriage has for men today. One that actually matters to men. Not to you, but to men. We'll wait.
It's not marriage we're avoiding. It's divorce. The reality is that for men today, the risks far outweigh the rewards. The juice just isn't worth the squeeze.
Never.
In the past, marriage was about love, partnership, and building a life together. But now, it feels more like a transaction. Modern women are often perceived as marrying for profit.
Now marriage seems like it's the end-all, be-all of the breakup. Like, you could be together for 5-6 years, and then you get married, and then you get divorced like 2 years later. Like, the marriage is like a sign of, oh, you're about to break up.
Not for love. They look for men with six-figure incomes, seeing them as a ticket to the life they want, rather than as a partner to build a life with. Let's be real. If a man doesn't have money, many women won't give him the time of day.
Nope.
The focus isn't on commitment or building something lasting. It's on what he can provide materially. Women today seem more interested in the wedding, the ring, and the lifestyle that comes with it. They want children, but not necessarily the long-term partnership that raising a family together requires. And when things go south, they often see divorce as a way to cash out. Men are waking up to this reality. They see how easily everything they've worked for can be taken away in a divorce. The house, the savings, even their relationship with their kids. The trust that once formed the foundation of marriage is eroding, replaced by a fear of losing everything if things go wrong. Women today are seen as too risky. The fear isn't about commitment itself. It's about the consequences when that commitment falls apart. Men don't want to end
And
up...
it's not even our commitment that falls apart. We could still be fully committed, but because you choose not to commit, everything falls apart.
up on the losing end of a divorce settlement, paying alimony and child support while watching their ex-wife move on with someone else. So when men say they're avoiding marriage, what they're really saying is that they're avoiding divorce. They're avoiding the potential for being taken advantage of, for losing everything they've worked for, and for being left with nothing but regret. Women today can't be trusted in the same way they once were. The risk is just too high. Men are opting out because they see the game for what it is, and they're choosing not to play.
I feel so fucking dumb. I feel so fucking dumb right now. And I'm mad that I feel dumb. Like I just don't know how to take what I'm feeling right now well.
Go on. At least this is real tears.
I deleted Bumble first of all. That's not why I'm crying. Oh.
Okay, I figured.
Fuck, this is why I feel dumb. I knew that there was no way I was gonna see that person I went on a great date with again. But for some fucking reason, for the past few days, I've had it in my head. I was like, but it would be really nice to. Why am I thinking about him so much often lately? Like, is there a reason? And then fucking my head, like I hate
Yeah, it's because you probably had sex with him the first night and he bonded with you.
that my mind does this. I really do. I hate how fast I can fucking romanticize people. I really can't stand how much I romanticize other people.
This is why women really need to stop sleeping with men as soon as you find a man that you like. You gotta make men wait a little bit so you can vet these men out a little bit more.
Stand it. I can't stand it. I actually wish I was fucking cold-hearted fucking ass bitch. Like I just the reason why I'm sad is because I was so nervous to text him. I haven't texted him since we stopped talking. And I just felt like saying hi. And then he replied right away. And when people reply right away, for some reason, it makes me feel like, shit, they don't really want to talk to me. Like, I instantly felt that. As soon as I got his message, I was like, I feel like this is not going to go anywhere. And then I ended up saying, like, because we were just like, hey, how are you? And then I ended up saying, like, would you be open to talking casually with me? Because it's really nice to know there's another adventurous person out there. But he met someone when he got back. And things are actually really good for him. So he doesn't want to jeopardize it. And I was like, I said thank you for the fast replies and that I'm genuinely happy for him because I really am. And then this part is why I'm crying, like, because I feel like it happens to me every fucking time. But he was like,
I almost feel bad for this girl. Almost.
I do think that meeting you was a catalyst in opening up my heart so I could meet her. I'm really grateful I met you. And I wish you the best of luck. And
Girl, you sound like you're the rebound girl that men go to have a little bit of fun and then it helps them realize you're just a rebound girl. I do feel bad for you genuinely, actually.
he said he's really happy that he met me because he thinks it was a catalyst to him being able to be how he is for the relationship that he's in. And a part of me is really glad he told me that, like, genuinely, because I want to see it the same way. I think what breaks my heart a little is just the fact of how fast I started to romanticize after a couple days, like just recently. Because when he left, I knew I wanted this to be like a detached thing. Like, I wanted to keep him as, you know, a creative inspiration for me. I wanted just that. Like, I was like, you know, that was great. That was a great
So you just want a great dick, but the dick was too good and you couldn't stop thinking about it. Got it.
experience. But I think, if I'm being honest, I haven't been on a date since then. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because there's just no one who has given me the same. Everybody still talks about themselves on Bumble. Everybody only wants one night stands on Bumble, and it's just, I guess after meeting him, I was really hoping I would just meet more people who gave me like genuine interest.
This sounds like she got alpha whittled by this particular guy.
And just,
This is probably the best man that she knew she could probably get or get her hands on, in a sense.
I definitely don't want to think there's no one else like that out there. I don't want to think that. But I'm definitely really tired about trying now. Like, I'm so tired of trying for it. I feel so closed off about it.
Girl, how do you think men feel now? Men get it worse than you. At least you got taken out on dates and enjoyed yourself. Where men are doing the taking out on dates, spending the money, and getting treated just as horribly as you get treated, or probably even worse, because we're getting used for our money. We don't feel bad for you.
I'm so tired about feeling second choice. I think I'm taking it harder because that was actually the last answer I was expecting. But at least he told me right away. I'm grateful. I just feel like a fucking idiot. I feel like a fucking idiot for getting excited the past day, getting ready to fucking text him, and I just feel so fucking stupid. And I can't let go of that. Like, I can't let go of how stupid I feel. Like, why did I...
Like, the only reason I slightly feel bad is I can genuinely see she's really hurting. She's really crying. This is somewhat a cry for attention. I'm not saying it isn't, but I get it. I think men can get this. You genuinely try hard. You genuinely want to, do something with this person. That person just doesn't genuinely want anything with you. It's a normal process in dating, but women take it so harshly.
Did I even think, like, he was open to it? Why did I think he was not gonna find someone? Like... Oh my god, I feel fucking crushed and stupid.
It's a familiar story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Women often find themselves drawn to the Chads of the world, thinking they can change them, only to end up heartbroken when reality hits. They believe that with enough love, care, or patience, they can mold these men into the perfect partners. But here's the thing. Chads are who they are because that's what works for them. They're not looking to change, and they certainly aren't waiting for someone to come along and make them into something they're not. The irony is that while these women are chasing after the bad boys, the ones who are emotionally unavailable or uninterested in commitment, they overlook the good men who are ready to offer the stability and respect they claim to want.
Yep.
The nice guys get friend-zoned or ignored because they don't bring the same excitement or challenge. Yet, when the inevitable happens, when the Chad doesn't change, when he remains distant or uncommitted, the tears start flowing and the cycle of disappointment begins again. This isn't just a one-time occurrence either.
No.
It's a pattern.
I'm sure.
Women cry over these men, vent to their friends about how they were mistreated, and then, more often than not, go back to the same type of guy, convinced that the next one will be different. But why? It's like a never-ending loop of hoping for a change that never comes. And all the while, the real issue goes unaddressed. What's really happening here is a clash between fantasy and reality. The fantasy is that love can conquer all, that they can be the one to break through the tough exterior of a Chad and bring out his softer side. The reality, though, is much harsher. People don't change unless they want to. And if someone shows you who they are from the start, it's wise to believe them. But instead of accepting this, the blame often shifts away from the choices being made. It's easier to cry over how things turned out rather than to face the truth.
True.
That these women are picking men who aren't interested in changing, men who don't want what they want. They're choosing excitement over security, thrill over stability, and then are left wondering why it never works out. So, the cycle continues. Women chasing after Chads, crying when they don't change, and then doing it all over again.
Yep.
But the truth is, the power to break this cycle lies within them. It's not about trying to change someone else. It's about recognizing what you really want and need, and choosing the right person who can offer that from the start. Until that realization...
Yeah, if they can actually focus on the intimacy, the gets treated properly, helps take care of me, loves me, if they concentrated on those factors instead of the money, the height, the looks factor, they would all be married. They would literally all be married to good men that does those things for them. But it's not what they want. And it's so hard for them to want those stable things nowadays. And I realize why too, because social media and just media in general really gets into women's head to think that that's not enough. It's not enough. And women are constantly chasing for that enoughness, but it's never there.
Happens, though, we'll keep seeing the same story play out time and time again.
I wonder why no one will date me. I'm not being pick-me as fuck. I know why. I'm psycho. I'm psycho cuckoo fucking bananas. I don't shut the fuck up for longer than 10 seconds. You can't even enjoy a moment of silence around me. Jeez. You want to know my family medical history? Sure. You know, ask about my last relationship? Sit down. I got timelines to tell you about. This is Marvel, honey. Okay? We're in the multiverse. I'm a good storyteller too. But I'm just so fucking skinny that I'm waiting for someone to look past all those things.
The question that needs to be asked here is she really a wife? And here...
You just said, didn't say that she looked good or anything, just that she's skinny. That's the truth right there, guys. This woman just literally gave us a truth bomb. All she needs to do is be skinny. That there's so many overweight, uggo women out there that all women have to do is just stay in shape. Yeah, that makes sense.
Here's the kicker. That's not something determined by her own standards. It's not about what she thinks qualifies her as a wife. It's about what someone else, specifically a man looking for a lifelong partner, sees in her. In today's world, finding a true wife is like hunting for a unicorn, an almost mythical creature that seems impossible to find.
True.
Women today often talk about having high standards, but what does that really mean? Is it about having a laundry list of demands, expecting a man to meet them without offering anything substantial in return? Being a wife isn't just about checking off boxes on some self-created list. It's about embodying qualities that make a man want to commit, to build a life together, to grow as partners. But let's be real. How many women are truly bringing that to the table these days? It seems like many women are caught up in this idea that just because they set standards for themselves, they're automatically wife material. But here's the truth. They're not the ones who get to decide that. It's not just about what they want. It's about what they offer, what they bring to the relationship, and how they complement a man's life. And that's where a lot of them are falling short. Let's face it, the dating pool today is a tough place to be, especially for men looking for a genuine, long-term partner. Too often, it feels like women are more interested in what they can get out of a man than in building something meaningful together. They want the benefits without putting in the work, and that's a recipe for disappointment on both sides.
Women just want to shop and do their nails and get pampered all day. That's what I've noticed a lot of women want. Most women want that. And if you can't provide that, you're fucked. Like for most women. So why even bother nowadays? This is why there's so much MGTOW. This is why so many men are leaving. Why bother? Is it really worth the squeeze for me to do all that shit for just because she's skinny?
The sad reality is that finding a wife today is like finding a unicorn, rare and elusive. But why is that? It's because
That's Dude, unicorns aren't rare, brother. They're not. They don't even exist. That's the problem. It's like they're not even in real life.
many women are more focused on their own standards and desires, without considering what it actually means to be a wife in the eyes of a man. They're not thinking about the qualities that make a man see them as a partner for life. They're just thinking about what they can get out of the deal. At the end of the day, being a wife isn't about what she thinks she deserves. It's about what she offers to the relationship and how she fulfills the role of a partner. And if more women understood that, maybe finding a true wife wouldn't feel like chasing a unicorn. But until then, the search continues, and men are left wondering if they'll ever find that one woman who truly understands what it means to be a wife.
If dating for love isn't working out for you, date for money. I'm being dead serious. My dating approach has been unbelievably pure for my entire life. Never cared about the financial status of the guy. Have dated people with less money than me. Have always gone 50-50 in relationships. Has never been financially taken care of by a guy. I just wanted to fall in love and have a genuine partnership and connection with someone. And guess
Bullshit.
where that's gotten me? Used. Taken advantage of. Single. My ex, who I thought I was in love with at the time, we split everything 50-50, including rent. We lived together. That he was never gonna marry me. He was never gonna settle down with me. Every guy who I've had genuine feelings for has just hurt me. I got to the point where I just stopped dating. I was like, men are just ruining my life. Until I realized, what if I just start thinking like a man? What if I just start getting what I need out of these relationships instead of worrying about the genuine love and connection that we share? You don't get to choose if that's going to be there or not anyway. So if
This is the big problem, that women really think that men are so cold-hearted when it comes to these things. Yeah, the Chad and Tyrone's, the top 10% men are like this, but most men genuinely care for their partners. It's just a normal thing. It's human nature to care about other people.
if you stumble upon love, amazing. But if you don't, you're still getting something out of the deal. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but if you are a lover girl that keeps getting burned, hey, what if you just got what you needed from men? How about that? How about you try that and let me know how it goes?
It's interesting how this woman claims she's dated different types of men,
Right.
and they all ended up disappointing her. And now, she's out there saying she's dating for money, not for love. But let's be real here. Who's really to blame for her disappointment? It's certainly not the men. Women like her are the ones who have shifted the entire dating scene, setting the stage for the very behavior they now claim to despise. Think about it. She's the one who decided to play the game, expecting men to act in a certain way, and when they did, she suddenly wasn't happy with the outcome. She set the rules, but now that the game isn't going in her favor, she's upset. It's almost as if she's surprised that men are reacting to the very dynamics she helped create. When you prioritize money over love, you can't be shocked when you end up with relationships that are transactional, not genuine. And let's not forget that it's this kind of attitude that's driving men to behave in ways that align with what women like her want. She wanted a game? Well, the game's on. And now that it's not turning out how she envisioned, she's left disappointed.
The thing about the game is, men are on top. Because the top tier men will destroy any woman in this game. And women destroy the rest of the men in this game. But men are still technically on top of this game. So when women really want to play, they're never going to win. Because the men that they truly, genuinely want will always win the game.
But instead of looking inward, she's pointing fingers, trying to blame men for the very standard she set. What's even more ironic is that she's disappointed with the men she dated. Yet instead of reassessing her approach, she's doubling down on the same mentality that led to her dissatisfaction in the first place. She's not looking for love anymore. She's looking for money. But here's the thing. When you date for money, don't be surprised when love isn't part of the equation.
Yep.
Women like her have contributed to the shift in the dating landscape, turning it into a transactional game where the focus is more on what can be gained materially rather than building a meaningful connection. And now, they're unhappy with the results. But the truth is, they're reaping what they sowed. You can't expect to cultivate a garden of love when all you're planting are seeds of materialism and superficiality. At the end of the day, she's upset that the game she set in motion isn't favoring her anymore. But maybe it's time for some introspection. Instead of blaming men, she should consider how her own choices and mindset have led her to this point. Because as much as she'd like to place the blame elsewhere, the reality is that the dating scene is a reflection of the attitudes and behaviors of those who participate in it. And if she's not happy with the way things are turning out, she might want to take a closer look at the role she's played in shaping it.
I definitely feel like I wasn't one of the ones that fucked up the game. I got married pretty young and I wasn't really in the game. And even now, I'm not really in the game. I date, but I genuinely date. I don't try to run through women like that. So I agree that most of the participants are what it is, but most of the participants are women and 20% of men. That's most of the participants. Please extract them below. I really appreciate that.